the first time I was in the bath doing the breath work, I was taken back to a very violent time in my life, and I felt physically in that moment, and I was able to respond in a way that I wasn't able to respond to at the time. It was so strong and very deeply healing and very uncomfortable. Part of this breathwork technique is about breathing into the uncomfortable places without letting them take over, but really breathing into them and trusting the breath and the body. And continuing on from that, there's been other similarly violent moments in my life, and my conscious mind was thinking, have I already got to revisit all of those? However, whilst I was in the bath, I had the capacity to stop them before they actually happened and respond in a way that really was from a boundaried place, and to be able to say no. A very clear no. There's been a lot of time to integrate the breathwork sessions and what's come up through them, which has been really important. I felt a lot of space during the week. There hasn't been a hastiness to get things done and move on to the next thing. There's been a lot of space around, which I really value. Because one of the things that I'm really taking away from this experience is to take my space and take my time and go at my pace and not be rushed by someone else's agenda. And I can relate that to my actual birth itself. I wasn't ready to come out. So in the bath, I experienced real resistance, which then connected to other times in my life where I've felt pressured by someone else's agenda and not been ready. I had a couple of womb experiences. One was being a very small fetus in a lot of space. And the other was really significant during one of the bath sessions, and taking my time and not being ready and waiting. I was able to wait until I was ready. And what came up for me was the fear of someone else's stress and impatience around me actually exiting this really safe space. And I held back. I took my space and I held back. And in my mind, I could see a whole portal. And there were lots of little claw-like things kept coming in and poking around and then disappearing. And then when I was ready, I knew that was the way I was going, and I physically curled over even more than I was, so my head was as down as it could be in the water. And after a couple of attempts, there were a couple of attempts where I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I was ready. And I kept breathing. And then next time, this is the way that I'm going. I know the way that I'm going. There's only one way to go. And then the next time I got closer and I was through that portal, and my body naturally opened out. So yeah, an incredible experience to have that. I can't imagine another time in life that would give me that experience and that somatic memory, or to be able to reset the actual experience that I had, but to do it in a way where it was on my terms. I've learned a lot. I feel much more deeply connected with my breath, and what a tool that is, what a powerful tool it is. I feel like I've cleared a lot of old, stagnant, toxic energy that has been weighing me down without me even realising. So I feel a sense of lightness and liberation from that. And I knew that I needed to be here. And I have a sense that there's life before this darkness rebirthing retreat, and very subtly and powerfully there'll be life after it. And I'm really open to experience that in however it shows up. I've spent a lot of time lying down. I lie down to sleep. I'm generally vertical a lot of the time. But fortunately, the bed is incredibly comfortable. I've taken great pleasure lying in that bed and on that bed, feeling very safe, and all my needs have been met. My needs, I think, are quite few. And I feel that I've experienced a very, very a strongly held container, and a strong container that it has a tenderness and a care and a love within it as well. So really balanced, so even less for the mind to have to chatter on about. I feel like I've been cared for physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, I have a sense of the roots of what is being created here, what has been created here, running really deeply and very wide. And also the connection with that. One thing that I feel like I've reconnected with is my creativity, which wasn't something that I was seeking, but something's really arisen that I have a calling to make, which is a surprise. Is it very inspiring? So I will follow that. I'll take that with me, see what happens. We've had a lot of fun as well. We've had some very funny moments. There's a point at which there's a little bit of silliness and naughtiness comes out, and all of us were giggling for minutes and minutes and minutes. It was really funny, a very funny moment. Other magical moments, sharing a moment of connection with one of the other people that was here in a very tender, loving way, and then just a really lovely, long, warm hug. I feel like I've given myself such a precious gift, and this space, this opportunity that it exists, is a gift in itself.